Hi guys, my name's Barry and welcome back to the channel. My friend Dave Vanderhoff, he's on Instagram as Horror Movies and Beer. He has asked me to do a review for Anna and the Apocalypse, and this is an interesting one because I had never seen this movie before. I knew it was a horror musical with zombies in it, but apart from that I knew nothing else about it. It's definitely a unique premise and a unique idea, given as a zombie film with music in it and making it a musical. And I know that I think the trailer says something like it's a cross between Shaun of the Dead and La La Land. Never seen La La Land, and I wasn't a massive musical fan. However, over the past few years I've went to see a few musicals like Dirty Dancing, and I do like some musicals like The Greatest Showman, Hairspray. So I do like both genres, just not the musical side as much as horror, but with mixing it together is quite a unique approach. I bet a lot of people don't even know this, but this is a Scottish movie and most of the cast is from Scotland in this film, so if you haven't realised that already. So if you've seen this film and you're not from Scotland and you're watching it and you can understand their accent, then that's what I sound like most of the time anyway, guys. If you're interested, it was filmed in West Lothian. There was a scene in a shopping centre that we'll discuss. They filmed that there, but most of the other parts of the movie was filmed in Port Glasgow. It's quite famous for having the shipbuilding and the ships and stuff, and you can see some of that in the background in the film. At the start, it doesn't fully explain how the zombies become zombies. They do mention on the radio, I think it is, there's a pathogen or a lethal pathogen that got released, and you can see in the background some people are starting to get a little bit twitchy, sort of like Shaun of the Dead, and a lot of people are kissing as well, so they're passing on that pathogen, and that's how we can just assume that this zombie apocalypse occurred. Anna and John are the main two characters, but we've also got Steph, Chris, Lisa and Nick, who are the supporting characters, and they're their friends. Apart from Nick though, he's one of the bullies who annoyingly gets quickly forgiven near the end of the film. Now I know the trailer did say that it's a mix between La La Land and Shaun of the Dead, and yes, I can definitely see Shaun of the Dead in this film. Not only can I see similarities, but it downright copies some things from Shaun of the Dead. A part of the film was shot at the Five Sisters Freeport Shopping Village. That opened in 1996 here in Scotland. It's near Livingston, West Lothian, and it only lasted for 8 years, the actual real shopping centre in real life, because Livingston opened up this massive outlet that everybody started going to. So after 8 years, this little shopping centre, this shopping village, was just completely abandoned, and it's still sitting there today, and that's where they filmed the scenes in the shopping centre. The reason I'm discussing the shopping centre is because I feel like the best part of the movie took place at this little shopping centre, because there was more chase scenes. It felt more serious at this part, and people died in this one. Nick's friends, the bully, his bully friends died in this scene, and also this is the part where Anna's best friend John unfortunately died as well. So it was quite a heartfelt moment and quite a serious moment in a film that didn't really feel serious up until that point. Like I said before, the annoying part of this was when John died. Well, before John died, you could tell that he liked Anna. He wanted to be more than just friends, and Anna had said, nah, that's not going to happen. So he died, and quickly, soon after he died, Anna then became really close to Nick, who was John's bully. And I know that Anna had a bit of a history with Nick, but how quickly she forgave him, wow. I don't think I liked the finale either in this movie, because we had the Principal Savage, and we had Anna's dad, Tony, who were fighting with each other. The principal held Tony hostage, and Anna had to try and go after him. Now that made no sense to me, because it was like a revenge plot. It was almost like something happened between these people before the apocalypse, and now they're doing something like this. It just made no sense. There was no reason for the principal to do that. All the principal had to do was just sit quiet or try and get out of there, but instead he held somebody hostage and waited there for Anna to come back and try and fight. So it made no sense. Yes, it ended up that the principal died and Tony got bit. I knew that was going to happen anyway, but the way it played out, I was like, that makes no sense. I will admit though, because Tony got bit, there was this quite sad moment between him and his daughter, because obviously the mum died before the apocalypse, so they already had that disconnect, because they felt apart from each other after the mum died, and then the apocalypse brought them a little bit closer because they had to try and save each other. And then when Tony got bit, that was when it was really sad. So I think it was a strong end to that scene and an overall poor finale. The discovery of the zombies, I don't think it played out quite well. I know that you don't want to explain too much because it's not the main focus of the film, but with the way that people found out about the apocalypse, it was too comical, and I don't mean in a funny way. I just felt like they tried too hard to be funny, and the laughs didn't play out as well as they thought it did. I think if you watch Shaun of the Dead, the laughs in that play out really well, whereas in this one, it just hit the comedy, just didn't hit the mark. As a musical, I think when some of the music was great, the story wasn't so good. When the story was really good, then the music wasn't so great. It almost felt like it was fighting with itself to be either a musical or a horror film. It's almost like it couldn't be both. Now, I know that's what it's trying to be. It's trying to be both, and trying to be both, I don't think it worked. However, there was some good horror moments, and there was some really bangers of songs. I found myself singing the songs and tapping along, and even after the movie finished, I went on to YouTube and listened to the soundtrack as well. So the soundtrack is quite memorable. Some of the songs were great, but when the songs weren't great, that's when the story was. For a Scottish film that probably didn't have a big budget, I think the kills were fantastic. The CGI was pretty good as well. Now remember, this film is 6 years old, so the CGI won't be as good as it is today, or it shouldn't be. And with a film that was funded independently as well, and being from Scotland, I think they've done a really good job with that side. Also, it is a Christmas horror film. I don't think it felt Christmassy. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it was set at Christmas and there was Christmas trees and jumpers and stuff. It didn't feel like it was Christmas. Even the weather looked like a mid-September weather for the UK. Yes, there was snow in a park, which was fake snow. And it started to snow at the end, but it didn't feel like a Christmas movie. And when you listen to the songs back as well, none of the songs felt Christmassy. There was a few jingles here and there in some of the music, and you can do that with any song. I think the last song in the movie, the end credit song, was a Christmas song and it had Christmas lyrics in it, but the rest of the songs, it just didn't feel Christmassy at all. So you could have set this movie any time. It didn't have to be at Christmas. It was just another added gimmick on top of the already gimmick that we had. Overall, guys, I think if they focused on one thing, the movie might have played out better. If they made it a pure musical, I think I would have enjoyed it. If they made it a pure horror, I think it would have been okay. However, I think the musical side of the movie was slightly stronger than the horror side of the movie. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good movie. I probably won't watch it again. However, and this is the reason why I like the musical side more, I will listen to the music again. I'll probably listen to the music after this review is complete because I do really enjoy some of the songs in the film. So as a musical, I think it worked better than it did as a horror film. So thank you to Dave Vanderhoff for recommending this movie to me. I probably wouldn't have watched it if somebody didn't recommend it to me. And I was pleasantly surprised that it is a Scottish horror film. There's not that many Scottish horror films. And how many Scottish zombie apocalypse musical horror films have you seen? Probably just one. So if you've seen this movie, guys, let me know down below if you like it. Also, because it is a musical / horror, what element to the film did you enjoy more? The horror side or the musical side? Leave your comments down below, guys. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you soon.
Meeting adjourned.
I'll be right back.
What are you waiting for, huh?
Coming to get you, Barbara.
Ever played Skin the Cat?
Someone's in the back!